right? Good stuff.
Olivia King, hockey analyst for Youth Hockey Hub, former goalie for the Gophers women's hockey team, 5 seasons there, via Insta, as the kids say, Instagram or TikTok. Follow her, and to follow her work at Olivia Kristen King, at Olivia Kristen King. And here she is. Hello, Olivia.
Hi, Paul.
Welcome back to the Love Covenant, FM 100.3 KFAN. We last week we chatted about a lot of things, including Olivia's podcast, Talk Goalie to Me, but subsequently texting with her and chatting with her a little bit and learning what she knows about the NHL and the Wild in Dallas. We've invited her back in to chat about myriad topics, including the Wild getting the Dallas Stars tomorrow night. First, Wild Seattle. The Kraken are really struggling right now. They've lost a bunch in a row. Wild had lost to a couple of teams struggling in Vancouver and Calgary. They won the game 4-1. Zuccarello and Middleton leave with head injuries. Coach John Hines joins 9 to noon, an hour from now. But to end a road trip with a victory like that, what are your thoughts on the Wild against Seattle?
Yeah, I mean, the Wild get that victory. They have 2 empty net goals in that game. Seattle is, maybe not the best performing team this year, but a huge win for them to get kind of back on track in their last, 4 games. They have 2 wins and 2 losses with, each goalie getting one of those wins. I think that shows a lot about the Wild, their, ability to play both goalies. And in that game, there was lots of injury, like you said.
Yep.
And so I think it's just a matter of, who's healthy tonight or, for
tomorrow.
Thursday when they play the Dallas Stars. But Boldy, Eriksson, Johansson, they had, a huge game and they carried that day, all very positive, 2 goals and even shots, 6 and 6. So I think it was a great game for them, and I'm glad to see them kind of getting back on track here.
I'm going to bring this up with Coach Hines about an hour from now. First, the hit on Zuccarello by Vince Dunn. Not middle of the ice, but open ice. What'd you think of the hit? Did you think it was dirty? Because I'm asking the head coach that in an hour.
I think it was a good hit. I've heard both ways, but the NHL, they called it a clean hit after they overlooked it. So I'm not gonna, after they reviewed it, I'm not gonna say that it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, and you know more about this than me. Never played hockey, but Zuccarello made a little turn right before the contact, and that I think is a key to this equation. Where if we got a blindside hit and somebody's just waylaying on somebody and taking them out, and, they don't necessarily see everything that's coming and they're not making, like, quote, a hockey move, end quote, I think I might look at it a little differently. But I think Zuccarello just fortunately got up, and I would be surprised if he doesn't play tomorrow night. But I just think he was in a bad spot,
I agree. And he's not gigantic. So I think that also, plays into that factor. But I think it was huge to see a rookie go and kind of aid him.
Yeah.
I think that was
you're off?
super. Yeah. I think that's super cool to see that he was the one to go and kind of stand up for him. And I think that shows a lot about the Wild team as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because people think, fighting and hockey and, like even in that game, I think that thing happened like 5 minutes into the game, then into the first end of the first period, Ryan Hartman's looking for Dunn. So, I mean, the payback, whether you think it's petulant or not, it is of that game and it's age old. And it could take place like something happens in November. Then all of a sudden you see Vince Dunn in January or February. He kind of forgot about it. And bam, he just gets nailed out of nowhere. So I respect that part of the game. I agree with you. When you're trying to win favor with coaches and personnel people and teammates, try to establish yourself that you belong. And a team leader like Zuki goes down and you're the first guy in there throwing punches. That goes a long way in the NHL.
Exactly. And I think it does show that the Wild are very team first and willing to stand up for each other, and that they're just a close team this year.
Yeah. Olivia King with Youth Hockey Hub in studio 9 to noon at Olivia Kristen King via Instagram and TikTok. She also has a Twitter feed. You can learn more about this podcast at all the spots. Talk goalie to me. Now, the Dallas Stars tomorrow night. Stars have an awesome road record, by far the most power play goals in the league. They've beaten the Wild 12 of the last 16 times. The Wild haven't beaten the Stars in regulation in 2.5 years. When you played for the Gophers women's hockey team, and you guys always were good. I mean, you'd look at the rankings, and it was you or Wisconsin or whatever, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. Maybe the answer is Wisconsin. But when you played for the Maroon and Gold, was there a thorn in the side team for you guys that you either had trouble getting by or they just like bugged you every time?
Yeah, I would definitely say Wisconsin. I mean, the Gophers in the past, 6 years have been, more than that, have been top 3. It's either Wisconsin, it's Ohio State, or it's the Gophers. And Wisconsin has been such a powerhouse in the past few years. I mean, even this season, they've been ranked number 1 almost the whole year. And
seems like Sarah Nurse played there 10 years.
Yeah.
She was there forever,
Yeah. And they have had such iconic players, but so have the Gophers. And the Gophers were able to split with Wisconsin this season, and it has been a while since they've been able to do so. So I think this year is kind of anyone's game. I think even for, looking into this season and the Olympics and seeing that people are going to be gone for a while, I mean, weeks. So I think that's really going to shake things up and allow points to be distributed a little bit differently. So I guess we'll see, but Wisconsin was definitely the thorn in our side when I was there. And that shows as well with how many national championships they've won in the past few years. A
recent member of your podcast, Talk Goalie to Me, Maddie Rooney, an Olympic gold medal winning goalie. Can you, it's when I say, can you imagine, the answer, of course, is no, because you've never done it. But if you could if you could cast your gaze or let your mind open up to what it would be like being a goalie or playing in the Olympics and being on one of the best teams in the world and having a legit chance to win the gold in, say, like Italy. I mean, that's just fantastic.
Oh my gosh. I can't even imagine that. I mean, as a kid, the Olympics was something that everyone strived for because there was no one professional league for women, and now there is. So I think that is so great for the younger generation. But especially as Maddie won that gold medal game in a shootout. I mean, that was all on her back, and she was 20 years old. So she
played at Duluth, right?
Yeah, she played at Duluth, and she played Andover boys and girls in high school.
Oh, geez.
And I just I can't imagine how crazy that must have been. And talking with her, I mean, she is such a calm person.
Yeah.
And it's apparent why she was able to do that.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned Andover. And, there with Andover and the youth sports programs. Now you went to Brainerd High School, right?
Yep.
Okay, so Brainerd Lakes area. Maybe this has transpired to your school or some schools up there, but the dear friend of mine has kids that are playing their first year in tackle football in Apple Valley. So I live in Eden Prairie. So therefore, when they play in that area, Shakopee, Chaska, Chanhassen, EP, something like that, I'll go to as many games as I can. Yeah, I watched them, I'd say a couple of months ago, play in Shakopee. And to see the fields popping up in Shakopee and how the youth programs are becoming so voluminous and so good and feeding into middle school and then to the high school, and Shakopee's a player and, certain sports where maybe they weren't before. Andover might be like the poster child for that. And I'm not saying, Andover football, basketball, the core four, however you want to look at it, weren't any good before. I wouldn't know. I just know that a lot of people have moved to the Andover area, and what's happening to the youth sports programs is really a beautiful thing. I think, Maddie Rooney probably was part of that.
Oh my goodness, absolutely. I think the key word in that is feeder programs, especially, we were talking this past weekend when I was doing color for the Gopher St. Thomas games, and it was just a constant talking about Andover because both teams have had so many girls come from the Andover Association and how that just feeds into Division I, women's hockey especially.
Yeah.
I mean, for both those teams, the Gophers have had people like Peyton Hemp, who came out of Andover, and now she's playing in the PWHL. And they have people, current players like Madison Kaiser, who played for Andover, at one point, and St. Thomas.
Maddie Kaiser's played for Holy Family, didn't she?
Yeah, she played for Holy Family too. She left Andover and played for Holy Family.
So Holy Family to Brad Frost.
Yes, exactly. Andover to Holy Family to Brad Frost. And, St. Thomas has over 3 girls from Andover. And so I think that just shows like what a feeder program they are alongside Edina, of course.
Yeah. Well, that's age old. I mean, OG would be the term. I mean, that's like that, Eden Prairie, Lakeville, maybe a little bit after that. You know what I'm saying? But the Gopher St. Thomas game where you were the analyst. Okay, we didn't hear about that last week. It's probably my fault. When that happens, where can we watch?
Yeah, so it just depends on the game. Yeah. I know that most of them, on Saturday it was streamed, Big Ten Plus, and then on Friday it was Fox 9.
Yeah.
Plus.
Fox 9 Plus, yeah.
Fox 9 Plus.
Sweet.
So that's been really fun. I mean, it's easy to talk about your friends.
Yeah.
Both of those games, I played for both teams. I'm an alumni of both programs, so that's easy for me.
Yeah.
And
was it like a TV call via stream or Fox 9 Plus would be TV?
Yeah, they were both radio and streamed.
Well, the reason I bring it up, I had the privilege in 2021, I think, or 2022, of calling a couple of Minnesota Wild games, doing play-by-play for a couple of games, and did them from the corner at then XL Energy Center in a suite with a bunch of people in there. If I'm going to do it, let's make it a show. Really enjoyed myself, but what I learned in hockey, you can put together these game calling depth charts. You can have your board, your numbers, your minutia, your last 10 games, your career, friendship stories and everything. You can't have your head down a lot in hockey when you're calling a game because you're in the middle of a story talking about, say, Maddie Rooney going back to Andover. I mean, there could be a goal, 3 shots, and 2 fights during that entire story.
And that's what I love about it. I think it's so fun because it is game time. You have to know your stuff. You can prepare all you want, but it's just like studying for a test. You can prepare all you want, but when you get down to the test, you don't have your notes. So you have to know what you're talking about. And that's the coolest thing about it. And if you don't know what you're talking about, people are going to be able to tell.
Right. You just minimize the damage, laugh it off, and move on.
Exactly.
Olivia King is our guest with Youth Hockey Hub. Met her last week, so 9 to noon as a new friend when it comes to chatting about hockey at all levels. And she was a goalie for the University of Minnesota hockey team along with St. Thomas, played at Brainerd High School, goalie for the Maroon and Gold for 5 years. And, when it comes to goaltending with the Wild, with Coach Hines joining about 45 minutes from now, the Volstead, Gus, it's a constant rotation. I just wonder either via matchups or performance related that neither one of them has played themselves out of a right to be in this rotation. As you move on farther in the season, and you start to get closer to the postseason with higher leverage games, I just wonder if the every other game bit is going to stay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I know exactly what you're saying, and I think it is so valuable that the Wild have 2 goalies that are playing hot right now.
Big time.
I mean, there would be no hot streak without both of those goalies. And I think it's also nice that, Gus Bus, he has experience. He's a veteran. And then, the Wall of St. Paul, he is new and he's, up
that
for...
That nickname's the bomb.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
You've made it when you have a nickname. So I don't know where mine's at, but maybe one day.
Okay. What is your nickname? What was your nickname when you played?
Oh, Kinger, I feel like.
Kinger?
But maybe not as iconic as both of those.
Yeah. High ZZ?
Yeah.
It's a hockey thing, right?
But I think as playoffs, it comes down to it. I think it would be valuable to play both of them if they're still hot. But that's not usually how things go.
Yeah.
And I guess we'll see how things shake up. I mean, as a young guy, a rookie who's up for, in the Calder discussion for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. He has 4 shutouts on the season already. It'd be hard to just veto him, but he's also young. So we'll see how it shakes out.
So with Jesper Wallstedt, what do you like about the way he plays? I mean, he and Gus play differently. Wallstedt's not as big. Just not stature-wise, not as big. But what do you like the way he plays?
I absolutely love the fact that last year he, was sent down and he had a tough year. He had to fight through a lot of adversity to get back to the Wild. Mm-hmm. And then now that he's showcasing his talent and what he can do at such a high level. And, outside of just on the ice, I love that mentality. And to see that from a goalie, I think that shows a long career in the NHL.
The producer for 9 to Noon, Eric Nordquist, has made it. He has multiple nicknames. One of them is the Con, and he would like to chat with you.
Well, I just wanted to continue on with Wallstedt. I'm just curious, and you playing goaltender, what do you battle when you're either trying to make a big growth step like Wallstedt has had to do from shaky debut and just what do we have into last offseason to now what we're seeing? So what are you battling there mentally versus what are you battling when you're on a freaking heater? You mentioned the shutouts, and now you are here, and now you are the wall of St. Paul, but now it's continuing to show up. What kind of mental games or mental machinations are going through your head in those spots?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you look at football, and goalie is like the quarterback of hockey. So you face a lot of adversity when you don't do well, especially, I'm sure on that level, you face a lot of adversity. So, having maybe not the best season last year and then coming here and facing a little bit of adversity, like you said, it's hard to get out of your own head. And then I'm sure at that level, facing adversity from outside, from media, from fans. So, just being able to reset and regain your focus and focus on your game and your team is the most important thing. And then when you're on a high as well, just being able to be confident, but not too confident. Mm-hmm. And I think it's crucial that he does have another goalie that he can lean on and a vet. So I think that's also great. You have a great rotation where, if you can't play, well, your goalie partner is going to play and they're going to do really well. So you have to be able to still be there and put the time in and push yourself because somebody's there to take your job if you're not doing it. And I think, that's also a reason why they're doing so well.
What's it like being a goalie on a penalty kill or in a shootout?
Oh my goodness. I think being a goalie on the kill and in a shootout is one of the best feelings because you feel a lot of pressure. Mm-hmm. And that's why you play goalie. Mm-hmm. It's exciting, and you're able to play more of a role than maybe you usually are on a team, and you're able to kind of control the game a little bit. So I personally love that feeling, and it's something that now that I'm not playing hockey, I miss a little bit. Yeah, and I get that feeling a little bit. Like when I'm calling games and stuff. So that's why I'm very passionate about that now. But I think that's the best feeling.
Olivia, as we mentioned, does a podcast called Talk Goalie to Me at Youth Hockey Hub. You can learn more about it. And your recent guest is a Julia Minotti. Who is Julia Minotti, and what interested you with her story?
Yeah, so I had Julia Minotti on, and it was a lot to talk about the Gopher versus St. Thomas games this past weekend. I think that's a blooming rivalry in the Twin Cities. St. Thomas with their brand new Lee and Penny Anderson Arena in the next, I think in the next 8 years, St. Thomas has a national championship on the Division I women's side. They're playing in the best conference. They have a brand new rink. They're going to steal recruits. That's what I think. And so that's why I had Julia on. She is a transfer from Clarkson, and she's doing super well for the Tommies and just having a crazy season. I love the way that she plays goalie. She competes at a very, very high level. And I wanted to see how she ticked and what made her so good and why the change to come over to St. Thomas. And she was super fun to have on, very, very smart and funny. So that was kind of, a little bit refreshing and nice to have a little bit of silly conversation. We're about the same age. So that was nice. And yeah, that's what interested me. She's a great goalie. She competes super hard, and watching her in these 2 games against the Gophers. I mean, first game was a really close game. She had lots of shots. I think like 40 some shots. And then second game was not as close. I mean, the Tommies played okay. The Gophers kind of came out and showed their stuff, which was nice to see after two kind of stale weekends. And the Gophers come out with a sweep.
Yeah.
Which, is kind of how we would draw that up. I mean, the Gophers are number 3 right now, and the Tommies at one point were top 15, but aren't anymore. And
what about the men's program? It was taking its lumps early, but then it started playing some blue blood type teams closer. But I think at last check, I think they were, as the pairwise goes, I think earlier this year they were in a pretty good spot. I don't know where they are now.
Yeah, I think they're getting better, and they're in a lot of a better spot than they were in. So that's, encouraging. But I will say, everyone I talked to has kind of just discounted them this year. And I'm not saying that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I think, looking into second half is when games really matter. And what we'll really start to see is, hopefully on the up and up. But yeah, I think it just hasn't been, maybe the greatest year, but there's so much season left.
Hey, last one here. And last week when we met, we chatted about the importance, whether you're a man or a woman, playing multiple sports from an agility standpoint, a camaraderie standpoint, just a maturing of the body and mind standpoint. And I know hockey would be your identity, but I also know that at Brainerd High School you played lacrosse, correct?
Yep, and soccer.
And soccer. Okay, well let's it could be either one, but let's stick with lacrosse. And in playing lacrosse, how does hockey help with lacrosse and vice versa? Or is there nothing to it?
Oh my gosh. I think playing multiple sports, especially like a sport like lacrosse, which does have similar rules to hockey, I think it helps so much, especially in the high school level, because most often than not, you're playing with the very similar people on both sports. So it helps your relationships grow. But also, I mean, you're just able to get out there and move your body in different ways. And that's super important for your health.
Yeah.
And, keeping injuries down. And it's just fun to get out of your head and do something else other than playing one sport. Even if you are very, very focused on that one sport, I think that causes, mentally some rift at some points, because if you're having an off game or an off week with that one sport, well, you have no outlet to kind of get back on track. And I think that for me, that was, playing my alternate sport in high school. And I think that's really important for kids, especially.
You know Rachel Ramsey, right?
Yes.
It's time to drop the puck.
No, she did that at Let's Play Hockey back in the day when her dad didn't jump up to the microphone, and she tried to. And
it's time to drop the puck.
Like that. So I'm sure if Rachel's listening right now, she greatly appreciates that. Pronger with a ponytail. Thank you, Olivia. We'll chat soon.
Thank you.
Olivia King, Youth Hockey Hub, is where you can learn more about the podcasting and talk goalie to me. Also via Instagram or TikTok at Olivia Kristen King. We're back after this.
Conversation coming up at the top of the hour. Final hour will begin with Minnesota Wild head coach John Hines as the Wild are hosting the Dallas Stars mañana, tomorrow night at Grand Casino Arena. So look forward to that. And then for as far as the Vikings, for an NFL-centric segment here, and then I believe again during the final hour, Vikings watch parties we've been doing for their away games in 2025. Guardsy and I have kind of headmanned some watch parties at Gray's Food Hall by Travail. It's behind Target Field in Minneapolis. Awesome spot in each watch party. Tons of prizes and swag and gift cards. The food and drink options are nearly endless. So Gray's Food Hall Really, really cool spot in Minneapolis. I'll be there this Sunday night at 7 o'clock for the Vikings-Cowboys game. So come join, hang out, and let's watch Flores versus CD and Pickens, and our guy JJ versus that hideous Eberflus defense. Looking forward to that.
And let's give Nordo a good show. What's the place called again?
It's Graze, as in you graze, you eat. Graze Food Hall by Travail in Minneapolis. It's a cool spot.
Yep, Sunday night. That'll be good. 7:20 for the boom. 5:30 for the pregame with Moosey with Mr. Muss, and it'll be the penultimate road game for the Minnesota Vikings in the 2025 season. After that, they head to New Jersey to play the New York Giants. Then Christmas Day football against the Lions, and close it up against the Green Bay Packers, who are one of the 4 top favorites to win Super Bowl 60. The 4 favorites to win the Super Bowl are the Rams at 4-1. And at this stage of the season, 4-1 is kind of a lukewarm number. This is the time of the year where you usually get to around plus 160, plus 180, plus 240, things like that. They're plus 400. They're 4-1 favorites, which is kind of an indicator this sucker still looks to be a little wide open.
Yeah.
Seattle's 8-1, Green Bay is 8-1, and Buffalo is 8.5-1. Those are the top 4 favorites. It's jumbled. Is it wide open this year? Is this the year a long shot, like 15, 20-1 or higher potentially gets the money? The first team that we will be discussing is a team all out to get the 1 seed in the NFC. They already beat Sam Darnold and the Super Chickens. It's these guys.
Stafford gets a new possession in plus territory. Short set, a ball fake. He wheels, he deals, jumping at the 5. It's Puka again! On one play, a 31-yard strike. Puka Nacua with a new career high in touchdowns.
The LA Rams clearly are sitting on a big one, and largely due to team balance. Now, it was kind of a chic pick for a fair amount of people, including yours truly. Kind of jumped on the low-hanging fruit bandwagon into the season, thinking, like, if I had to have one NFC team where it was a life or death scenario, I'm taking those guys when it comes to getting to the Super Bowl. Off the Florio conversation an hour ago, the Vikings, Chiefs, and Ravens, none of them are going to make the playoffs. Ravens might have the best shot of the 3, but that thing ain't going right. That's 41 combined wins from last year. They're going to be shut out of the postseason. That's astronomical. And it's absolutely antithetical and or abnormal when it comes to the year after year that makes up the NFL. Now, the LA Rams, with this team balance, their points differential is plus 152. They can outscore you and stop you when needed with a youthful, spry, fast defense that is the toughest to stop in the NFL from the inside of the defensive line. And it's just getting better with age. Matthew Stafford, he's cinch HOF, first ballot. He was the first overall pick in the 2009 draft. And if they make it to the Super Bowl, my man's going to turn 38 the day before Super Bowl 60. Aging like fine wine is what they call it in the business. He leads the league in passing touchdowns. He's tops with a touchdown to interception ratio of 35-4. And his 50 completions, he has 50 completions of 20 yards or more at age 37. And that's most in the game. Devontae has helped big time. And that was a high-end move by those guys. Matthew Stafford is absolutely, in my estimation, the game's MVP at age 37. We're going to get some Drake May noise. We're going to get some noise from other places.
Yeah.
Stafford's going to win it. I don't know what his odds are. He's going to win it. Unless things go completely pear-shaped the rest of the way. Matthew Stafford.
He's minus 180 right now, by the way.
Favored?
The favorite, and then Drake's 2-1.
Yeah, wow. It's that tightly contested. Holy cow. Stafford has 7 games with 300 or more passing yards and 0 interceptions. That's amazing, man. That's got to be close to an NFL record. And for the Rams this week, good prep race. good prep races coming up, but good prep race this week for the playoffs. They host the Lions and Jahmyr Gibbs. Now, L.A. has allowed 4 rushing touchdowns all season. Gibbs has 13 and 16 from scrimmage. So, biggest concern these Rams have, potentially as a 1 seed with 2 home games, would be San Francisco or Green Bay coming to town, because those teams travel so well and their fan bases are not cheap. Those fans spend thousands to follow their teams in the postseason, and they can turn SoFi into a home game of sorts. It already happened once this year earlier in the season with the Niners at SoFi. Honestly, I think that's their biggest concern as we come down the stretch here. Now, with Seattle at 8-1, a lot of it comes down to Sam Darnold, the Seattle Seahawks.
And Darnold steps up in the pocket, dumps it off underneath, and it's caught. Touchdown! Seahawks! JSN flips the ball into the stands to some Seahawks fans. His second touchdown reception of the game from 4 yards out. Sam Darnold with a nice pass, gets away from the traffic inside.
In what's known as the ultimate team game, and I framed it up to Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell a couple of Tuesdays ago like this. I don't like doing it like this because there's just so much that has to go into a single play to make it work, even to get 5 yards. But I'm like, with the offense specifically, is Christian Darrisaw just the most important component to maybe the team? Because when he plays, good things happen, and they hold the ball, and the defense stays fresh. It's with Seattle. I mean, it's you got Byron Murphy guy in the middle. You got DeMarcus Lawrence resurgent on the outside. Ernest Jones is gotten himself really good. Boye Mafe, the former Gopher, is a nice little spark plug at about 20 plays a game. I like their corners. I don't love them, but I like them. But so much of this for them comes down to Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
It's not hyperbole here. It's certainly not hate, but it's not hyperbole. He melts when the pressure cooker is the hottest until he doesn't. He melted against the Rams. Well, then, of course, the next game he killed the Titans. He was flummoxed by Flores, and, of course, he lights up Atlanta the next game. That's just what he does. Is Phillip Rivers honestly really going to play for the Colts at Seattle Sunday? I mean, it's kind of ridiculous, but whatever. I mean, he hasn't played since 2020. This rookie Riley Leonard's got to be like, mother. But I can understand what they're doing here, and they're a run first team in the first place. But Seahawks coach Mike Macdonald is 8-1 against rookies as a head coach or defensive coordinator, and as a way of causing them severe mental perplexity. So Shane Steichen, he knows that. He and Phillip Rivers are very, very close. And here comes old Phil at age 44. We'll see if he plays against the Chickens this weekend.
Doesn't it feel like, other than the 2 Cardinals games, the Seahawks really haven't proven this year that they can truly win reliably by dominating on the ground? And yeah, we saw that team, right? And they ran effectively against us. They're very efficient. I'm not saying they can't run. Mm-hmm. It's not an impotent situation, but it is a situation where throughout consistently their offense, you mentioned the Rams, well, it was all the picks. And then in the end, it was Darnold trying to drive for that long field goal. I know. Against us, they shut our team out. But the disguises and the pressures that Flores developed, clearly knowing him a bit, produced 4 sacks of the 17 total that Darnold has taken this year, and put him in a spot where, what does he do? Well, sadly, Darnold in pressure spots is a turnover machine. That is maybe the Achilles heel of this Seahawks team from my standpoint, is can the quarterback stay upright? He's proven that most part, but the right team in the right spot, if you're forcing those turnovers, man, they love giving it to the other team. That's going to be a problem in January.
If Seattle wins out, it gets the 1 seed.
Yeah.
The remaining schedule, Colts at Seattle, Rams at Seattle, then they go to Carolina, then they're at San Francisco.
Man.
If they win out, I mean,
Rams and Niners, though.
Honestly, I'd pay money. I'd pay a fair amount of money for that last game at San Francisco to be for the 1 seed.
Yeah.
Because I either want to see somebody push their way through it, because that's really, really cool when people can do that.
If he takes that step, yeah.
Or I just want to see, are you who they said you were? Because the worst quarterbacks anybody can ever have on their teams are the ones who get you right to the big spot and are never really able to handle it.
Yeah.
The ultimate tease bit, and that's what he is as of now. But Seattle has been a 1 seed 3 times in franchise history. Went to the Super Bowl each time. So obviously being a 1 seed is a key, but that was kind of cool. The Hawks and Rams are the only teams to rank top 5 in scoring offense and scoring defense. Darnold leads the NFL with 16 giveaways. Like Nordo said, he leads the NFL with 16 gives. That has to have those guys at least a bit nervous. Darnold, if you like the Hawks, by the way, as we pause, we'll do 2 more teams about an hour from now, 45 minutes from now. If you like the Hawks to win the Super Bowl, get that 8.5 right now. Because if they beat the Rams in a couple of weeks, it's going to drop significantly.
Yeah.
2 of the other teams making up the top 4 for favoritism for Super Bowl 60 will be handled at about 11:20. Green Bay, along with the Buffalo Bills. John Hines, coach of the Minnesota Wild, joins 15 minutes from now. News du Nord is none.
Welcome back to 9 to noon, and it is time for News du Nord, which is always brought to you by the casino at Canterbury Park, CanterburyPark.com. And whether you're feeling the felt, which you can do so each and every day, all year long, poker, blackjack, and table games, having sips at chips, and tipping Derek Allen, as I usually say. Additionally, on Thursdays, you have the NFL Pro Pick'em Challenge, and it's a cool weekly bit. You just go down there. You're going to be down there anyway because you love Shakopee and you love Canterbury. You make their picks for the NFL games into the weekend. It's Thursdays from 10 a to 10 p.m. And then weekly winners, little walking around money. And at the end of the season, thanks to Quick Trip, somebody's going to win free fuel for a year. So join the hundreds of people who are participating in the weekly NFL Pro Pick'em Challenge for your shot to win there. You know the games. Maybe you know them better than we do. And then also the Christmas tree lot is open as well. So multiple sizes. You got Johnny the Mouse with bobber hats, and you got crafts and fun for the kids, some cocoa. Make it a thing at CanterburyPark.com. And I want to start here. We have the head coach in just about 10 minutes. And I got this from Chad Abbott. I just posted a picture of it to my X account at MadProducer1. Tickets for tomorrow night's game. You go to wild.com/tickets and you'll click on promo tickets. And apparently in partnership with Waggle, Captain Jared Spurgeon has designed an exclusive Waggle hat. So if you go to wild.com/tickets, click on promo tickets, you'll have the chance to take one of those home. You can check on my X account to see what one of those looks like. Now, I'm kind of going through Howell withdrawal. They don't play today. I don't like that. I got to wait another day for Kaprizov and Volstedt or Gus and whoever it's going to be tomorrow night. We'll get to hear from the coach momentarily. I dig that. But I'm going through withdrawal. Maybe it'll help me, PA, that Gophers hoops tonight versus Purdue. How about that? So you have an interesting situation where you're feeling the high off of beating Indiana, a ranked team, who has suddenly apparently transitioned into a football school with what Signetti's doing, but all the same, you beat Indiana, you're feeling good about yourself. Nico Medved's team looking for morsels of positivity in his maiden voyage as Gophers head coach. But then on the other end of it, Purdue, among the best programs in the country, just freaking laid one down and was beaten out by like 28, 27 points, something ridiculous like that. At home last weekend, one of the worst showings by a home 1 seed in like the last 25 years of college basketball. Well, is this going to be the slump buster, PA? You're going to get to hear it on the Fan. It's a 6 p.m. tip-off. I don't believe there'll be a pregame, but we are your home for Gopher Sports. You'll get to hear it. Is this going to be a slump buster? Is Purdue just going to jump back to life? Can we get some love for Nico's squad as all focus will be on maroon and gold in lieu of other local activities?
Well, the point spread opened at 18.5. Purdue favored. Went to 20.5.
That's not good.
So that squad, I believe, is 8-1. Mr. Medved's team is 5-4. I can't answer the question. I can't name one player on Purdue. I'm still trying to figure out how the Gophers beat a ranked Indiana team. Not that it blows me away or I'm flabbergasted because I don't know enough about it. But that does, from a sports distraction standpoint, give us a little something to do tonight. I find myself this time of the year really enjoying the NBA Cup games.
Yeah.
They had some last night. They got more tonight. New York meets Orlando now Saturday.
I want it. Yeah, I guess
NBA Cup's cool, man.
If I can clip on you, what about these Magic? Do you have a big opinion on the Magic? I mean, they got Wagner. They got some game breakers. Banchero, of course. Mm-hmm. But if we were playing LFL, I would tell you, and this is based off of waiver wire connections, like, hey, Anthony Black, like they're pulling something out of some guys here that make them very game in kind of a talent poor East, but still Magic doing their thing. Yeah,
with the Pistons, see, there will be a regression to some mean for the Detroit Pistons. I mean, that they may end up as the 1 seed in the East. I mean, they're winning games at an unbelievable clip. Cade Cunningham might be the MVP in the league right now.
Did you see they're already talking about buying big? Like, they feel like this could be their year.
Right.
They're talking about, like, AD and stuff like that.
See, with Orlando, and I'm not wedging this in because he played at Minnehaha Academy, this is so by far the best season Jalen Suggs has had in the NBA.
Yeah.
And when he doesn't play and they have to use other cats at the point, things come back. Anthony Black's he's a decent player, but
coming off the bench only. Yeah.
Right, but I mean, Jalen Suggs has become a floor general. And at Gonzaga, that's exactly what he was. Banchero was hurt, came back recently. They're keeping his minutes down, but that'll ramp up. Franz Wagner is a 1A type player. I think he's a high end 2 for a really, really good team. But Franz can beat you. Desmond Bane has been really in and out with them. When Wagner or Banchero aren't playing, Bane tears it up. Now they're both playing, and Bane tore it up last night. So they're getting Desmond Bane, the former Grizzly, mixed in nicely. And like you said, the Eastern Conference has some wide open to it. Why not us? Why not the Orlando Magic?
Well, hey, who knew you'd get some Orlando Magic and NBA Cup game breakdowns? But
you asked.
I certainly did ask because no Wolves, no Wild tonight. But let's turn the corner on this and kick off the hour with a local flavor in terms of John Hines, head coach of the Minnesota Wild. It's been News to Nord, brought to you by Canterbury Park.
I watched the entire third period on ESPN Plus on my computer, getting the Vikings-Dallas chart ready last night, and wow, what a good third period from Winnipeg. Dallas is so good again. We're going to chat about that and some more with Hinesy. Coach John Hines joins 9 to noon, about 5 minutes from now. Don't leave.